What's up everyone, today we're going to be doing an album review of ReVe Festival 2022 by South Korean K-pop group Red Velvet. They're bringing back the ReVe Festival concept and it's better than I expected. Apart from a few standout songs, the album initially didn't have me too impressed. But after going back and listening to it over again, ReVe Festival 2022 grew on me pretty fast. It has become one of my favorite ReVe Festival albums, being top 2 along with ReVe Festival Day 1, and I gotta talk in depth of what I like and what I disliked about it. We're starting off with track 1, Feel My Rhythm. What I wanted to note first was the box sample. I felt it was really well implemented. I almost wanted it to be played more in the song. Production was godlike, impeccable. How they managed to fit in so many different melodies in one song on top of sampling classical music and still have it sound clean? That's very impressive. Also, the sub bass was potent, the drums and hats were sharp. A lot of techniques here that I heard were really cool. The time stop edits, the gated synth breaks, that seizure inducing bridge. Is there nothing not great here? And of course, I'm not going to skip past the vocals. They were obviously great. This is Red Velvet we're talking about. But one thing that bothered me a tiny bit was the chorus felt a little safe. It was pretty standard Red Velvet unison singing. The melody was sufficient, I guess, but in a song like this, it was by far the least interesting part. I've heard this type of chorus hundreds of times before from them. I would have preferred something a bit more out of the ordinary here. Maybe if they did something similar to Simsalabim, that would have been cooler in my opinion. It's a good song, and the production here is going to be some of the best you're going to hear in modern K-pop. However, for me, the fact that the chorus was my least favorite part kind of drags my whole opinion of the entire thing. It is one of the most important sections of a song after all, and if that's not to my liking, then it'll spoil my experience for the rest of it. We see a bit more of that problem with Rainbow Halo, the next song. It reminded me a lot of their first ReVe Festival album, very Carnival Wonderland-like, and I think this is a perfect example that you can have happy, positive music and have strong bass. A lot of my problem with bright, happy, aegyo-like music with K-pop, especially with girl groups, is there's not a whole lot of bass. There's not really any strong low frequencies in a lot of those songs, and in contrast with Rainbow Halo, it shows that it is possible to have good bass. So it's not just me completely talking out of my ass whenever I complain about that. I do talk out of my ass sometimes, but not in these cases. I love the boom boom claps, the Solly Smith, the airy plucks, and the white noise at the beginning. It immediately opened up and widened the soundstage. My favorite out of the production though was actually the sax that came in during the second half of the drop. The timbre was juicy, it was sex to my ears. Lastly, I wanted to note the awesome detuned vocoder-like mellotron of some sort. That also caught my ears. That was really cool. Another great thing about Rainbow Halo was the catchy singing. The phrase repetition, along with the added sax that I referenced before, match made in heaven. This is one of my favorite songs on the album. Apart from a less than energetic first half of the chorus and a predictable bridge section, this is Red Velvet at a high. Then we get to the third song, Beg For Me, which is hot, 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 hot. Production was sleek, glistening chords throughout. There were actually 2 basses here, not just one guitar and one electronic. The trumpet was also a really nice accompaniment with the rapping. The snare buildup in the pre-chorus reminded me a lot of Bad Boy, one of my all-time favorite songs from them. In regards to Red Velvet, I felt the rap was the best part by far. Wasn't overly aggressive to be contrasting to the song, but not too soft to where there was no weight behind it. The singing portions, I gotta say, fall to the same issue for me as Rainbow Halo. They're great, but nothing too out of the ordinary of what Red Velvet normally does, and the bridge, some good shit right there, boy. The best parts of Beg For Me were some of Red Velvet's sexiest and nonetheless very catchy. One of the album's better tracks. We get to Bamboleo next. I apologize for butchering. It was very 80s sounding, a thing that a lot of artists are doing nowadays, I feel. I guess people just really miss the 80s, huh? Weed, bell bottoms, weird glasses. 99% of the production here was gorgeous, from the slap bass to the bell arps to the airy synths, but I couldn't help but feel the bass and kick were a bit quiet. It sounded as if they recorded both through one of those old vinyl players, the ones with the crackle when you put the needle on. They both still sound great, don't get me wrong, but I just wish they were significantly louder. When I was first reacting to this, I actually had to almost lean into my speakers to hear them. I think it was a really cool choice for them to do most of the chorus in a high register. It matched really well with the bumped up reverb. It was like you were ascending to the clouds whenever they sang high. There was a brief bit of talk rapping after the first drop, which to me sounds iffy from a lot of groups. Fortunately, Red Velvet is one of them that actually do it very well. This kind of sounds like something that a much older girl group would have come out with, like SES for example. Shout outs to Oyuni, by the way. Overall, Fun throwback vibes. Transitioning over to the second to last song of the album, Good, Bad, and Ugly, I will just flat out say this is my least favorite song in the entire album. Perhaps it's because I'm not too big a fan of this music normally, and it's not even the fault of Red Velvet. Any group who tries to do something similar to this, I tend to not like very much. And I'm not gonna say it's completely boring because there were still some high points for me. Even if the song isn't my cup of tea, I gotta say the production here was still awesome. Great processed piano, strong bass, it was very easy for me to hear. The effects layering throughout was top tier. I heard a harmonica come in every once in a while. That pleasantly took me by surprise. When it came to the arrangement itself, there's a lot to appreciate here. The vocals, however, were the low point of the song. Had nothing to do with skill, more so just the structure of it. This was by far their least interesting performance. There wasn't any point in time where a change up or a surprising belt note happened. It was the same melody throughout the entire thing. Also, there was pretty much only one flow. The rhythm never switched up from the da 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 da. It never diverted from that. It's a shame because they've done this type of style before and they've done it a lot better. I can name a handful of songs. Kingdom Come, Hello Sunset, Something Kinda Crazy, Take It Slow, Little Little, Would You, Time to Love, all great songs by the way, you should check them out. But yeah, I wasn't feeling this song at all. Fortunately for the conclusion of ReVe Festival 2022, we have In My Dreams, one of Red Velvet's most beautiful songs they have ever come out with. In My Dreams, it sounded like it was made in a dream. Sounded like Korean Alice in Wonderland. This sounds like if Harry Potter was a K-drama. This sounds like if two succubi were casting a spell directly to my eardrums. This sounds like a straight up Disney movie. In My Dreams has some of the prettiest keyboards I have heard in a hot minute. It had gorgeous filtered arps peppering the background like stars in the night sky or whatever. The Vox effects added so much depth and personality to the beat, and the bass was thumping surprisingly hard for a song like this. I love the incorporation of the open hats at the chorus, very concert-esque. Whenever they sang In My Dreams, that stay triggering my stank face just felt like a fantastic finale with secondary singing when they hit that falsetto. Ugh! Goosebumps everywhere, fam. I will say the only thing that really upset me about the whole song was the lyrics itself. In my dreams, you love me back. I love how they sing that like every single person who has laid eyes on them haven't fallen in love. Like, what? I understand if an ugly ass person sang this song, like, oh, in my dreams and this person would like me, but this is Red Velvet we're talking about, bro. Look at them. Look at them! What you talking about? Oh, in my dreams, you love me back. This is real life, motherfucker. I'm right here. How you gonna talk about in my dreams like people don't like you in real life? What? That's if someone was gonna make a song about this, at least have the person singing it look clapped. Matter of fact, why didn't you have me sing it? Why wasn't I a feature on this song? But where's Red Velvet we're talking about? They should be the last people who sang that. Anyways, in conclusion, I think this is a decent album. However, it's still really not going to be a favorite of all time for me personally. Other projects they've done, ReVe Festival Day 1 or RBB, still hold a higher place for me. ReVe Festival 2022, while it had some amazing standouts, mostly stuck to Red Velvet's strong suits rather than embellishing on them even further or even stepping out of their comfort zones more. I'm gonna give this album a 6 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. Did you agree? Did you disagree? Leave it in the comments below. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!